be a king, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use a yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give all the powers to chant. Jah give all the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
Yeah, now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Have the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
The time has come for lions to tell their own story. Yes, you're listening to Lion's Voice. I is Rastafari chilling from the island of Senghor. Yeah, I'm bringing to you Rastafari vibes. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Babylon born when Rasta come together. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Because Babylon done when I and I come together. Look how we live together, look how we work together, Oh, Babylon done when Rasta come together. Hail I, Rastafari, His Majesty and Empress men and blessed. Yeah man, hailing from Senghor, Rastafari hail you.
Aye.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Yo, this is Zeladina representing for Rasquasi and the whole lion voice family. Now listen this is the realest thing. Him closer to me than a brother. Him a me G, me a tell him I'm a lion. Me a go tell you how me feel, me a go keep it real. Me nah go wait till him lay down on the mark. Lion voice never talk bad about me yet. Him realness me can't forget. Cause when a game time him never bench me. Him never rise up against me yet. No, the friendship connect. It's funny how we can talk in front of a million people and never yet drop no catch. So a loyalty till death. Lion voice, and Zeladina representing. Up.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up land voice. Now put it, I Jollifer said that.
Greetings, this is Rastafari. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Rastafari said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the lion's voice. We are here to tell our own story. Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
Alright, so continuing on with family, we're going to talk about the drums right now. The bass drum is the foundation. It gives off that frequency. It encompasses and surrounds and keeps the idea within a one place. It's always on the one. One soul, one mute. Alright, very important.
The more aware you are of yourself, the more you come to know yourself, the more mindful you are, okay, is the more skilled you become at using this powerful engine, which is your mind.
And then the resolution is like just finishing up the lessons now and just saying yes, and reminding people of the theme of your story. So, you know, the theme of this story was the importance of agriculture.
For the motherland, cradle of civilization, for the ancestors and their indomitable spirit, for the elders whom we can learn much, for the youth who represent our promise for tomorrow, for the people, the original people, for the struggle and remembrance of those who struggled on our behalf, for Umoja, the principle of unity that guides us in all we do, for the Creator who created all the things great and small. We give thanks.
Let's go through the principles. The first one, blessed love and greetings. Welcome to day 5, our last day of camp. That's sad, right? Too short. Just when I started to have fun, it's over. But it's been fun, and we'll do this again next year, most definitely. Looking forward to seeing you all again, and stay connected after camp.
Government is trapping the system.
Jano, I'm so hungry, bro. I haven't eaten all day. Like, my head started to hurt me. Like, what more could I eat right now?
What about a city samosa? samosa, a fusion of Indian, Jamaican, and African culture. City samosas, the best samosas in the city.
Yeah. I shall lift up I eyes unto the hills from whence cometh I help. I help coming from the true living eyes, Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, who created Zion and earth. He shall not suffer I foot to be moved. I hold, he that keepeth Ethiopia shall neither slumber nor sleep. Well, youths in the streets right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. Bun bad police right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. No justice, no peace right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The fire now cease right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The youths them rise against brutality, man a kill another man for your salary. Them train them at the shooting gallery, black and loot, you might lose all your family. Them defend white supremacy, so them see the African as them enemy. It's been like this for centuries, them sick mentally. That's why we have you out in the streets right now. Riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. Bun bad police right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. No justice, no peace right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The fire now cease right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. Them said them tired of the looting, I and I tired of them shooting. Ku Klux Klan they recruiting, then them dress up in a blue suit and they're brutalizing our youths them. No court, they just execute them. Till the people start learn the truth and the black youths go strap on them Gideon boot and them out in the streets right now. Riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. Bun bad police right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. No justice, no peace right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The fire now cease right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The Most High denounce their philosophy, talk to United Nations properly. He said we will fight if necessary and be confident in the victory. They try to erase our history, they wanted to change our destiny, cause we are the children of the Almighty, destined to lead the whole world to harmony. Them out in the streets right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. Bun bad police right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. No justice, no peace right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning. Well, front was a son was born and a child was given.
I want to ask you a question. Have you gotten your book? Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priest Warrior King. I've read the book in its entirety, and I must say it's very inspirational, very informative, and very historical, right?
Them call him Lidj Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from sky. Them call him Lidj Tafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. They call him Lidj Tafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Lidj Tafari. Read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then born near the city of Harar, the inspiration for Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England. Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmach Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk Live. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network and welcome
to Lion Talk Live, where the Lions are telling our own story. Tonight's episode, an instant classic. We have as a guest tonight one of the pioneers of Rastafari media, Rastafari content creation. Years, these ones have been blazing a trail on the internet. One of I'm an inspiration. And this is a great honor for I to really host this brethren. Tonight we're going up in the celestial. Get your ital snacks. Get your meditation right. It's going to be one of those nights, family. It's going to be high reasoning. One of the reasons I established this platform was to ensure that we had high level Rastafari reasonings on the internet, that we have access. This was one of the things as a young Ras that attracted I to the movement as a university student, going to the Naya Bingi House in Washington, D.C. Always high reasoning with brethren and sistren from all over the world passing through, from geopolitics to high spirituality to esoteric knowledge. So tonight is going to be one of those nights. Our guest tonight has his own platform, the Tiger's Nest. I want everyone to go and subscribe. Honorable Priest Isaac will have that information. I know most of the items know already, and I know more of the family is going to be coming in. If this is your first time to the platform, welcome to the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the planet. We are happy to welcome the item to this uprising. And we are not alone, and I want to stress that. We have not only this brethren, but there are other brethren and sistren rising to meet the need of Rastafari content. You know what I mean? We have to create our own content out here. We can't complain about what we see. The world is not going backward. You know what I mean? We will preserve the Asian, but we cannot stop the time and the evolution of technology. So we have to be firmly vested in both. So we are the descendants of them, who went through great tribulation. And our job now is to build the golden era of the movement, to really bring this heaven on earth concept into manifestation, the institution, the day-to-day. What does the sanitation system look like? These are the things that our generation rose to do. I and the brethren are about the same age as well. So, you know what I mean? It's a joy for get for reason on the platform. Before I bring forward the brethren, if you are just coming in, our audience is called the Lion Pride. You will see them in the comments. They'll identify themselves. They're a loving set of people. Big them up. And if you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. Big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. We have monthly subscribers who pay their hard-earned income. We're trying to get that to 100. We're at 38, I believe. So we have a ways to go. Join us. We are having our town hall. We'll be announcing our town hall meeting shortly. Every month we do have a Zoom call, networking. We're creating a space for like-minded Rastafari and Pan-African family. A lot of ones reaching out and saying they don't know how to connect. They might be few in their town. We're creating that space, for people who are like-minded. We also are making it available for single brethren and sistren. They can find each other in there. And just creating that community, because it's Armageddon time. And people want connection. People want to feel, this is not the time to be a lone lion and lioness. It's time to build networks, build cooperation. Make sure that you're connected, interconnected with other ones. His Majesty gave us the term collective security. So join us in our Patreon. We also have the Ubuntu Lion Pride for contributions over $70. You get a lifetime honor of being Ubuntu, and we're welcoming an Ubuntu coming in from Barbados. We'll announce that shortly. Big up everyone who's been reaching out almost every day. I'm getting brethren and sisters reaching out. If I'm not responding fast, is because this is not a full-time job, family. I still have my full-time job and balancing this and being a father and the non-profit work and the consultation. So play it full. All right. So be patient with us if we have not responded. I know a lot of ones reaching out for interview, for reasoning, for everything. So we're just asking the family to be patient with I as we build. If you want to support the channel, support financially that we can hire an editor. I'm the editor. I'm doing all of the work right now, so we can't move at the pace that we really want to move. But it's Irie. We'll do the work. We've been called by the Most High to do the work, and we'll continue to do the work. But I want to just thank the global brethren and sisters who have been supporting and who continue to support, who see the work that we're putting in, and are supporting financially. A $5 or $10, you'd buy a cup of coffee. You can support Rastafari independent, non-aligned media. Give thanks, family. Fully appreciative of that. Big up Ramia King Design. When you see I sipping, I'm supporting Rastafari business. Support Ramia King Design, Frontline Books, Raseku, Tafari, all of the sponsors that you see on the platform. Please, family, support them. If you don't like I chat too much, I have a flaw. I know that. Support one of the commercials. Support someone. Let's circulate the Rastafari, the Pan-African dollar. My guest tonight, I want 10,000 people buy something from his website. When you see the information sharing, this is the mentality that we're building over here on the Lion Pride, is that we want to see the cooperative. We can maybe fund the project ourselves, but that $5, that $10 that just slip away into Babylon, we want to redirect some of that strength into the Rastafari Pan-African ecosystem. That is the only way we'll liberate ourselves, family. Economic base is essential to nation building. We have to get out of this poverty mindset. So we're going to be sharing the guest information. Again, we want the Lion Pride to spend some money with our guests. All of the guests that come here are workers. You can't come on this platform if you're just a talk shop. The item know how I man steer. I only like high level reasoning, so I'm biased. So if you see them on this platform, these are the workers that need the capital. My vision, 40,000 people giving $10 to a guest. We just capitalize that guest at 400,000. That's the power the Lion Pride can have. So you don't have to spend with you can spend with the guests. We're nearing 45,000 total subscribers. But we know that, a lot of that is casual. The core audience, if you're core. If you're watching the video, how me stay. You're part of this community. Let's step up and shake the earth. We can do it. You can imagine every guest that come on walk out with 400,000 US. They're gonna hire more Rastafari people. That's how the liberation gonna happen. And you only spend $10, every strong, or once a month, or however often you can afford. Think about it. This is the vision I'm putting out to the family. Let us manifest it as a global family and shake the earth. I'm only about history making moves right now. If it don't make history, it don't make sense to I personally. As I'm a Gideon, what we are do? That is how I see it. So big up everyone contributing financially. Big up to Wally King's Design. Big up brother Carl Philpotts. You saw the commercial for his book, the Ice Testimonies, His Majesty Speeches. So again, we are building a community of ones, Rastafari goods and services here at the Lion Voice Network. Unapologetically Rastafari, unapologetically Pan-African. So the item can see what we're building and the item can support. So give thanks. All right, housekeeping out of the way. And we do all our housekeeping up front, and we encourage our listeners, do your housekeeping. All right. Don't make your house dirty and then you come out on the road talking about you're saving the world and your house is not clean. We have to do the house cleaning up front. We're still in phase one of this Lion Voice Network project. Phase one is getting it economically stable. You know, when we have 1,000 people in the Patreon, we'll finish phase one and then we go to phase two, which is the scaling. So we're still early in our journey, but we can accelerate that as a family. You know what I mean? We want to see Rastafari blockbuster films, Rastafari documentaries, Rastafari animated cartoons, you know, all facets of Rastafari content at the highest level. We deserve it. And we have a lot to say. Our story has to be told by us. All right. So we're going to get into the guests now. Family, tonight we go down to the island of Antigua in the Caribbean. Again, one of the pioneers of the Rastafari independent non-aligned media space. You know what I mean? This brethren is one of the first brethren I saw on YouTube with high level Rastafari reasoning. Him usually have a panel of ones and them go deep into all type of topics at the tiger's nest. Our first reasoning is available exclusively on our Patreon, so we're not going to go into the history. We're not jumping into the Lion Talk time machine tonight. Tonight is Lidj Tafari month. We are talking about the birth of Lidj Tafari. We're going to talk about astrology. We're going to talk about the stars, all of these things tonight. So get your ital snacks. Lion Pride, help I to give a warm welcome to the Honorable Priest Isaac. Welcome.
My Lord, give thanks, give thanks. Great honor, great honor. You know, it's a great joy to be in the Lion's Den here.
You see it?
Full, yeah, man, give thanks, you know, and all praises to the King of Kings, all praises to the Lord of Lords, and, you know, give thanks to the Father and Mother of creation. And of course, you know, let us begin by even giving enough respect for the works that you're putting forward there. You know, just here taking in Burning my chalice, obviously, taking in your full introduction. And obviously it's a lot to offer, and I know the spirit, I understand, I feel the vibes, you know, a lot to offer. And as you said, just hope that the nation and the people comprehend the importance of networking. You know, it's a
Yes.
joy to see how you stress the networking on all different levels. So let me just commend you for the mighty works going through the earth, and the communication and the networking and the reaching out and the journalism and the professionalism and all of that. Enough respect, my Lord. Give
Give
thanks.
thanks, give thanks. And yeah, I know this is a mutual admiration society because the I, you know, set the groundwork, paved the way, the integrity of the I platform, you know, unquestionable. And years, you know, the I has been blazing a trail. So I want the I to know that, you know, we are inspired by the I and others, you know, but the I in particular, in terms of high level reasoning, you know, the I is one of the first ones when I went through YouTube that I saw the I, you know. So let us just start there. It's a mutual admiration. Brethren and brethren, this is how brethren and brethren can interact, you know. And we may not agree on everything, but we can still
Right.
show that high level respect for each other and the work, you know. And we still have probably 90% or 99% agreement. You know what I mean? There's just few things. So um, I want to jump straight into the topic tonight because I know that from watching the I platform, the amount of knowledge that the I have, you know, this is really a treat for us here on the Lion Voice Network. Let us start by, you know, letting us know what is astrology. You know, when we talk about astrology, the stars, these things, what is it?
Mm-hmm. True, my Lord. Well, give thanks again. And again, blessings to the full family. And if we're going to look at it from the conventional perspective, astrology stands out. Let me begin by saying it this way: astrology stands out a bit from astronomy, and even more so from ancient astronomy. Now, astrology really is the study of the movements of the planets, which in astrological terms includes the sun and the moon and their positions at a specific time of the year, being the constellations that they are reacting with. This also leads to a physical reaction with the planet Earth, meaning human beings and their reaction to plants and their reaction to the food that they eat and colors. That is why in astrology, people are very concerned with the time of year that they were born. And if they are of the sign of Capricorn, they have the sign of Sagittarius, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Because that, according to astrology, would have a lot to do with their characteristics and their behavior, etc., even their future. Astrology also is very geocentric in its outlook, meaning that doesn't necessarily mean that an astrologer believes that everything goes around the earth. But astrology for sure is rooted in that psychological concept that everything is going around the earth.
Okay.
So that is why where the planets and where the planets specifically are is a very important thing. And remember, in astrology, the planets also represents the sun and the moon. I'm actually giving you the textbook outlook on astrology,
Okay.
because
Okay.
astronomy now,
Yes.
astronomy as we know it, modern astronomy, but for short, astronomy, is the study of the heavenly bodies,
Okay.
their their makeup, um, their obviously their position, distance, as much as possible, what activities would be taking place on these heavenly bodies, and of course, this includes planets, stars, quasars, and other heavenly bodies, galaxies, etc. Astronomy does not really take into consideration the positions of planet at what time of the year and how it
Okay.
has to relate to your liver or your heart or your lungs. That has no place whatsoever in astronomy. But
Okay.
that's a big thing in astrology.
In astrology.
Now, in astrology. Now, ancient astronomy, which is really what we bring to the table,
Okay.
is almost a combination of both. But what it
Okay.
really is, both have become like a separation of. So we're in astrology, which is something I do respect. The thing is, the only thing about astrology is that astrology is mathematically off.
Okay.
Astrology, modern day astrology, almost every astrologer, unless they're dealing with the Vedic astrology or Ayurvedic medicine science, they are off at least by 10 to 12 degrees. And we may
Okay.
get into a bit of that science as we go through, as it relates to the heavens. So when someone says they were born, let's say on the pick a day, the 2nd of January, and that's my Earth day, though.
Okay.
And they say because they are a Capricorn, that may not be necessarily so,
Okay.
because what would have happened since the zodiac horoscope philosophy was placed into movement is that hundreds of years would have passed, and we must understand that the heavens, of which we are all in the heavens, earth is in space, all of
Yes,
this
I.
is space, right?
Yes, I.
So God, space and all of that, it's a living thing. It's not a
Is it?
picture that comes out in the night when the sun goes down. It's a living thing. Things are moving. So the sun actually has a what appears to be a movement of 1 degree every 72 years. You
Okay.
know, in its 30-degree movement. through constellation spaces. That is why in about 2,160 years, you have the changing of a whole age, like from the Pisces age to the Aquarius age. It's a
Okay.
deep thing. But what I'm
Hold
saying,
hold
not to
on, hold on, hold on there. Stick a pin. Family, if you thought that we were staying on the ground tonight, you were wrong. We're going up. We're going up, family. So I just want to let them know this is not a surface reasoning. If you need to get a pen and a paper and take notes, we have a master teacher here. So just full joy, ital snacks, your meditation, because we're going high, high, high tonight. Continue.
true, man. Well, I appreciate love that. But I was saying that give thanks, praise Father forevermore. So with the different ages, that's why every 2,000 years you have a different age, which is really every
Yes, sir.
2,160 years, because in that 30 degree. So within the 12 signs, I know people will say there are 13 constellations within the zodiac. I
Yeah.
understand, we can explain all of that, but they're really 12 corridors, that's for sure. So the
Okay.
12 times the 30 degrees is where you, number one, first of all, get the 360. And as far as 1 degree every 72 years, that is why you got 2,160 years for
Okay.
fulfillment of an age. And as you said, I mean, different knowledge. If ones don't get it, you just can watch it again, just listen it
Yes.
over 3, 4 times. It's not hard to understand, don't worry. And so I'm just saying that ancient astronomy now,
Okay.
which is what we speak of, we observe the heavens. We know that the planet Venus is directly connected to the hibiscus plant. We believe that. We
Okay.
know that the acacia is Martian, meaning not an alien, but of the planet Mars. And we know
Okay.
that the aloes, because it's a cacti and it has thorns, is also of Mars, but because it's cooling, it's related to the moon. Astronomy has no part of that, but that
Okay.
is astrology as we know it. But I will repeat, astrology is off mathematically,
Okay.
which creates a very serious problem,
So
because
so
good.
I'm born in October 2nd, and they would say I'm a Libra. So you're saying, but because of the mathematics is off, I may not be a Libra.
Yes, well, I do have our sky chart that we can pull up, but we don't have to go there yet.
Yeah.
As without me pulling that up, the fact that you said the second, you see, anyone that is born within that time frame,
Mm-hmm.
between somewhere anything before the 11th or the 10th of the month, more than likely they are more connected to the constellation prior to the sign that they hold. So, for example, you are Libra.
Yes.
So, before Libra, the constellation before Libra is Virgo. And at that time, what it is, you would see the sun still coming out of Virgo on its way to Libra. It's the same thing with the Capricorn with myself.
Yeah.
In fact, I could even show it to you, and
Yeah, man.
just give
Um,
me a moment so we can look
yeah,
at it
man.
properly, so
Ross
that you
is
have
gonna pull up
guesswork.
some
And
charts.
I know you say I'm your guest, but we're not getting. Yeah, do some business there while I do that. Give me a second.
Yes, yes, yes. Family.
Yes.
Um, I'm just letting the item know tonight is a special episode. We're talking about the stars. We're talking about ancient astronomy. We're talking about astrology, the zodiac. We're going to talk about the ancient African cultures, Kemet, Dogon, all these things we're going to touch, and also the birth. I want to read a section of my book because I wrote about the astrological significance. in Haile Selassie Ethiopia. So I'm going to read a piece. So tonight we're going to have all different aspects. So, you know, this one is going to be, like I said, this is an instant classic. Let us know if you're watching live. Let us know where you're watching from. Put it in the comment section. Lion Pride, you know the deal. Check in. And let's go. So you want me to add it to the screen, King? You ready?
Oh yes, if yes, since it's on,
Okay.
yes, whenever you're ready.
Yes,
Uh,
producer. Just add it to the
Now,
screen.
what I did here,
Hold on. There we go. All right. What are we looking at here? Just narrate what we're looking at here.
all right, I'm looking for my mouse here, but my mouse like it don't want to come up so I can see exactly what we're looking at here. But anyway, family, this
Yeah.
is this is Stellarium. I'll find another way to do that. And
I see
I
the mouse
actually,
pointer.
pardon me.
No, so I can see the pointer. You're looking at the pointer? You're looking for the pointer?
Yeah, my point, like on my part here, somehow the pointer is out of whack, but it's all right. Don't worry, I'll figure
Okay.
it out. You can't stop me at all. So I was saying that what you were looking at here was the Earth Day of the King. I hope you're still seeing it, eh? I
Yes.
made it a bit smaller so my pointer could appear. So I'm going to look for your Earth Day first of all. We'll come back to the Earth Day of the King, and I'm not going to even look into the time. I'm just going to look for the month. So you said the 10th month, right?
Yes.
And
October 2nd. October 2nd,
the
1977.
the second day. Okay, you want to go into detail. All right. So let me let me
And
give you that.
family, the Virgin does these consultations, so we're gonna share his information. If you want to book a consultation, the Virgin does these type of consultation as well. So
And we're touching on Facebook at the moment, and we'll be going on Instagram soon. So
oh,
what we're doing here, a platform by the name of Stellaria. You
okay.
know exactly what time you were born, my brother? If you don't, it's okay.
I don't know the time. I don't
Okay,
know the
you know day and night. Okay, it's all right. Let's leave it at that. That's good
time.
enough for
1977. I think it was
yes.
morning.
All right. Okay, fair enough. So what we're looking at here is the stellarium. As I said, it is a very accurate sky chart, very accurate app as such. All right. Now, October 2nd. If you notice, you say you can see my pointer. The pointer just disappears. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think I'm in the right direction here. You will see where the sun is. The sun is in the constellation of Virgo.
Okay.
Yes, let me just give you a quick crash course tutorial as such. You see, if you notice, we can. I don't know why I'm not seeing the so-called cursor. Try to curse me, eh? All right. If you notice now, yes, I. You notice the guiding lines has disappeared
Uh-huh.
because really the lines. Let me put them back. Okay, you see the lines that are there.
Okay, I have to look close. Me have on my glasses. Get your glasses, family, and look
I will
close. All right, I see them.
You're right. So these guiding lines are showing you exactly what constellation you are looking at. Now,
Okay.
this can also show you the actual picture, for example. So you see a picture appears. And I'm only showing the audience this because most ones are not familiar with what's really going on above their heads. They may just look
Yes.
up and just see a heap of lights. But
Yes.
trust me, years of studying, I have a good understanding. Not because of this sky chart, believe me. I have a
Yes.
good comprehension of what's going on in the heavens. So we can go out, we can look, I can say, yeah, look at there, etc., etc., etc. Today they have this app that you could put in your phone where you could just look through the sky with your phone like a camera, and you see what's happening behind the screen, behind the
Okay.
scenes, just like this. Fair enough. All right. So usually when I'm going through this, I don't like to use these Greek pictures here. These are just Greek renditions of what's
Yes.
taking. But obviously, you can see you have Virgo. That's the lady there. That's the woman. I said lady because it kind of looked like a lady, but
Okay.
it's black mother of creation laying down there, and the sun is actually somewhere around what you would consider to be her neck. Now, what's interesting there, my good brother, is this. Now, let us just observe the movements. If we, oh my, this is really the fact that I'm not seeing the cursor. It is really
I can see. I
terrible.
can see the eye cursor. I don't know why the I
I
can't
know.
see. I see it
I
here.
don't know. As I said, these terminologies that we use, so right
Yes.
away, it's like a
It's a curse.
judgment coming there. Let me ask you. Yeah. So you still see the stellarium.
Okay.
I'm gonna try a little. I'm asking you. You still see the stellarium?
Yes, I. It's
Are you
still a.
still okay? The
I'm.
sky chart. You still see the
Yeah,
sky
I'm
chart?
seeing. I'm seeing. It has graphics of like the, I think, the Greek mythology.
Okay. All right, good. Because I just did something to make it a little easier for me, and I am seeing the so-called cursor now. Good.
Yes.
This is what I want to show you. This is the sun here.
Yes.
Now we're gonna make the sun basically central. So you see me highlight the sun. Now I'm going to move the time frame. You were born the second day, 10th
Mm-hmm.
month. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see what was taking place on the first day. Okay. The 30th day of September, the 30th, 29, 27, Mascal, the 26th. All of this is in September. If you're watching,
Okay.
you notice the sun is going backwards
Yes.
as if
Yes.
it's going into the constellation of Leo. Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. So let us go forward now. So this now we're looking at the 5th day of September.
Okay. Honorable priest.
This 1970 that the sun actually would visit one constellation every month. So in other words, this month, not this month specifically, but in one month it would be in Capricorn. The next month the sun will be in the constellation of Aquarius. The next month the sun will be in the constellation of Pisces. The next month the sun will be in the constellation after that, which is Aries. Now it's not going to jump like today jumps, just jump. It moves
Yes.
slowly. And if you watch the sun set and rise, you can see that the sun has a slight movement daily, either to the north or to the south. Like we have
Okay.
just passed the 21st of June, which is summer. The sun was at its most northern point, so now it's going back to the south. So where I live, I can see it set every day in the sea, and every day you can see it move a little bit to your left,
Yes.
just slightly, and then in December it will be way down to the south. That's the sun. That's how it appears because the sun is not setting and the sun is not rising. It just appears. So
Yes.
you
Yes.
understand. I know they have some flat earth people and all of that. I don't want to even go nowhere there right at the
No.
moment. All right, good.
Leave it.
So,
Leave
but
it.
the point is that's just that the apparent movement. But what is really happening is obviously the solar system that we're in and the movement of the earth, the rotation and how it revolves creates this image of not just the sun's movement, but even the moon's movement and the planet's movement as well, because planets
Okay.
and the moon go through these same 12 constellations. That is
Yeah.
why these 12 constellations are called the zodiac belt constellations. There are
Okay.
88 known constellations in the heavens, but the sun
Okay.
has a specific path that it travels through and it hits 12 constellations. That's why they're the special ones. It's deep, eh? It's a whole story within
Oh,
it,
I
too.
love it. I love it. So what
Planets.
what is that telling you
So,
about October 2nd?
that's what I'm coming to now.
Okay.
So I said all of that so at least you could appreciate more. Even
Yes.
as I'm
Yes.
showing you the dates, as the sun is moving, as you see, the sun is now moving into Virgo, etc. So on the 2nd of October, to cut it short, the sun is well placed in Virgo. Libra is still a way off. Now,
Okay.
what it is that the time frame, the zodiac time frame, the not zodiac necessarily, but the astro, I like to call it astro misguide, astro guide, horoscope. I like to say it's a horrible scope because what it is now is that where you are at birth, if you were born maybe 800 years ago, maybe we could say for sure you were Libra because the
Yes.
sun would have been close to Libra. Let me show you. This is 1977. Let's go
Yes.
to 1177. You see where she is?
Yes.
The sun is close to the feet of Virgo. Let us go
Yes.
back to 1977. I'm going to show you. We're going back to 1977. Same date, same time, everything. The sun
Yes.
is at close to the neck, going to the chest of Virgo. No, it's
Okay.
more than just the constellation and Virgo and the chest of Virgo. It's quite much more scientific than that. And I'm telling you, boy, this is trying its best to do all the things here. So let me show you, for example, here we have the coordinates. The heavens has coordinates as well. You have what is known as right ascension and declination, which is equated to longitude and latitude. And what that creates now is a 30-degree space, a
Mm-hmm.
30-degree space for
Mm.
each constellation. There are at least three constellations that overlap their space and actually invade the other constellation's space, which Virgo is one, Aquarius is another, and two other. Taurus for sure, very large in their manner. They say
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio is the largest of the constellations in the zodiac belt, and Scorpio fits perfectly within its 30-degree space. I hope I'm not going far here, but I'm trying to show yourself, my lord, that on the 2nd of October, you see this area here. This is
Yes.
the space of Virgo. Now, to officially begin someone's sign, the sun must be halfway through the previous sign on its way to the other sign. I'm just going to say that, I'm the one, I really don't want to complicate it. I know exactly what I'm saying, but I don't
Yes.
want to
Yes.
complicate it
It's
even for
fascinating. It's
anyone. I'm
fascinating.
going to
No,
try to make
just who don't understand
so
have
for
to just
example,
rewind. Mm-hmm.
yeah, just exactly. For example, the 21st of every month is when signs usually begin. 21st, some 22nd. You go and check your zodiac stuff. So Capricorn begins, I think, on the 21st of December. And then Aquarius begins on the 21st day of, what you may call it, the next month, February. So your sign, which is, what it is there, Libra, is supposed to have begun on the 21st of the month before October, September,
Mm-hmm.
the 22nd of September. The 22nd of September. That is when Libra is supposed to begin. But so September, October. So that means the sun is supposed to be coming out of Virgo,
Yes.
going towards Libra. And by the time Libra comes to an end, the sun would be in Libra, looking to come out of Libra to begin the next section, which is Scorpio, which should carry into November. But as you just saw, 900 years ago, that was the case.
That was
But
the
that's not the
case.
case today.
Wow.
So the zodiac stuff that we're working with, the horoscope, and that's why we say horoscope, and the astro guide, that's why we
Yes.
say astro misguide. That was from Merlin, and that's what Merlin and Archimedes and these fellas were
Okay,
using. You
okay.
understand?
We're going
But
up, family. We're
time has
going up.
continued,
So,
you
so,
know.
so if
So
it,
this is why now.
go ahead, go ahead.
I'm listening.
No, I'm saying so.
No, well, I was just saying
Some,
that.
some people don't want court with someone because they're a Libra or they're a Virgo. So you say all of that are foolishness.
No, you're gone real deep there. I will tell you why, and I could if you want me to stop the sharing, it's just up to you. But
No, no,
because I mean, I've
continue.
used this to explain that.
No, no. We
But
love, we love, we love, we love what you're doing.
yeah, but
Uh,
I could explain.
go ahead.
Let me just explain that in the depth. As you say, or as you said, pardon me, we do natal chart reading,
Yes.
and I personally I would have studied the whole concept and the art of natal chart reading. And I can tell you what we do is totally different. I'm not putting down what the other astrologers and people that do that stuff do, but for anyone who is a familiar with natal chart reading, you know it's about the circle, the intrinsic circles, and the angles, and the drawing one line to your rising house and another line to rising planet and all of that stuff. That within itself has its own interests. But again, with an astronomy that is off, you're actually playing as you. That's what you're alluding to, you know. So wait. So when people say they're not dealing with this person and that person, they have it
Yes.
all wrong. Good. Now, what I'm saying is that I'm trying to find the best way so we can see this scientifically.
Yeah, man.
Now, ones need to understand. I know to some degree I may be speaking to the choir, but I want to put this out. Ones need to comprehend that, for example, when the moon is full, like we're looking at a full moon coming up now, and
Okay.
everyone knows that during the time of a full moon, you're dealing with the tides rising, you're dealing with the tides maybe going back down, new moon. So we all see how things were reacting during the time of the full moon and the time of the new moon. Now, when the sun comes up in the morning, everything shake up. There are flowers that open their petals. People wake up. I mean, even nocturnal animals are still out and about because of the sun. It's not just the light, it's not just because it's too bright, it is just what the sun demands. The
Yes.
moon also, as I said, demands a certain level of attention. The water table pays attention to the moon.
Hmm.
We, like the planet, we are made up of 70% water, like the planet. So our whole makeup pays attention to the moon, whether we pay attention to it or not.
Or not.
We were supposed to cut some bamboo to make a fence. And one of the brothers who was skilled in farming said, no, we have to wait till the full moon so that we can get a better yield, and so that the worms don't eat it. The point I'm making is that it's obvious that nature, we as human beings, we react to the moon, to the sun. Granny would say, don't pick nothing at night unless it's a full moon. Now,
Hmm.
what I'm saying is in the same way that the sun reacts to every living thing, or every living thing, I should say, reacts to the sun,
Mm-hmm.
and every living thing reacts to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Everything reacts to Mercury.
Oh.
Everything reacts to Venus.
Hmm.
Everything reacts to Mars.
Oh.
Everything reacts to Neptune, Uranus.
Aye.
Maybe you may not be able to explain it, feel it, or whatever, but that doesn't change the fact. And again, the fact that you understand what the moon does. Oh, well, the moon is just there. What do you call just there? So, I mean, and I guess Mercury is far away. What is just there and what is far away? Everything that you are looking at affects you. If there's a supernova, if a star explodes, it affects the whole makeup of the structure of the earth in one way or the other. Then you have plants that move with planets. That is why in deep herbology, when you deal with astroherbology, you not only plant the seed on a specific day, and that's another thing. Everyone knows about the McDonald's calendar, and I'm sure many ones utilize that in their farming and etc. etc. So that's just one level. But as you say, we're going up higher. So again, plant on a certain day, you harvest specifically on a certain day, you make your specific medicines on a specific day, plant directly dealing with the sun or the moon or the specific planets. So yes, my brother, it's deep to the point that I would not encourage anyone to get lost with this thing about he is a Leo or she is a Leo. I'm going to tell you why. And it doesn't have to do with the fact that astrology is a bit off. Let's just say
Yes.
you are really Leo. Let's say you are a Leo. Okay, in fact, let's look at your birth chart since we have you up.
Yes.
So when you were born, okay, first of all, the sun was strongly in Virgo. So you got to own your Virgo self, my brother. I have
Oh,
I have owned my Sagittarius self and I can see that's really where I belong.
okay.
Um
This is
Now
news to
let us
I
look
know,
at
you know.
Libra first of all
Learn.
before you throw Libra away.
Yeah.
I'm not telling yes. Okay, I don't see no great activity in Libra here. But you see, my brother, it's very important that we must understand we're not just where the sun was. So where was Venus when you were born? Now you have a strong a person would be born. A person would say, for example, that they're Virgo because the sun was in Virgo. But
Yes.
then when you look across Mercury and Venus and Saturn and Jupiter, all in Leo. So what are you really? You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
so don't get lost in the regular astrological outlook and you follow what they've been giving us from the Greek perspective. So yes, when you were born, brother, Mercury was in the head of Venus. Position is
Mm-hmm.
very important. And then not Venus, pardon me, Virgo. And then Venus, another strong feminine energy, a war and interesting. Saturn also was not only in Leo, my brother, but Saturn was twinned with Regulus. Um, and when we get into Haile Selassie's Earth Day, there was a key planet that was twinned with Regulus too, very much exactly where Saturn was when you were born too. I think it's Mercury, where Saturn was when you were born. I think that's exactly or very close to where Mercury was when Haile Selassie was born. But we'll get it when we get there. And
Okay.
that's another thing with the emperor, because the emperor have a strong spirit of Kepra, which is what they
Mm.
call Cancer.
Okay.
We'll get there. When you were born, both Mars and Jupiter were in Gemini. See, this is deep. When you were born, Mars was in the feminine aspect of Gemini, and Jupiter was in the masculine aspect of Gemini. I'm not going to try
Okay.
to read everything now, but at least you're looking at it from a different angle now. When you came into the scene, as here, what is this here? The moon. The moon was at a very serious spot. The moon was close to Albaran, which is the eye of the bull, a red star, Albaran, the eye of the bull, the eye of Taurus. When you were born as well, when you came forward, you had some solar active, some meteor showers. You had three meteor showers very close to each other. Two of them were in the same Taurus, and one of them were right in the center of Pisces. Interesting, eh? You see, earlier me and you were talking about Jupiter, where
Fascinating.
this you have the antihelion meteor shower in Pisces when you were born, and that same spot is where Jupiter was when the king was birth chart as well. So I just observing. I know you didn't even expect this. This wasn't really a part of the
No,
script,
no, no.
but
This
yeah,
is a joy though. This is a joy
me and
because
you.
I'm like a baby here listening and learning.
Mm-hmm.
Because our ancestors didn't have the
Right.
street lights and things that block out the heavens. So at nighttime, in most African
That's
societies,
the
you
next
had
thing.
those who studied the stars. So what they are is doing is a very ancient African
Mm-hmm.
tradition.
Respect.
So we're ready to look at His
But you
Majesty.
get the idea too,
Yeah, man.
that
Yeah, man.
especially
No,
again,
I love it. I
yes, it's
love
up
it.
to
I love it. And we
for
can,
sure. So
yeah. Let us look at Lidj Tafari,
1892
1892. Before as you pull that up, I'm gonna
and the
read a
seventh
little.
month.
I'm gonna read a little section from my book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, family. So as he pulls up the chart, and what we're doing, just for if you've just joined us, I have Honorable Priest Isaac here from the Honorable Priest Isaac Holistic Institute out of Antigua. He does the natal charts. You can book a consultation if you want to know your birth, you want to know what's going on from a celestial. The brethren does those consultation. You can book through his website, and we'll be sharing that throughout this episode. We are about to pull up the sky chart for His Imperial Majesty Lidj Tafari Earth Strong. So this is, again, we can't get no higher in terms of reasoning. In my book, Haile Selassie Ethiopia, chapter 13, I wrote about the stars. So I want to just read a little section here so that we can set the scene, and then we'll pull back up the sky chart and we'll go into that analysis to see if it matches, because I got this from different works doing research. So we want to see if what we have written here, because maybe I have to correct it in volume two. I mean, in the second edition when I, update the book. So we're gonna see. But I'm gonna read here. This is from my book. It's available on my website. And this is chapter 13. The Ras name McConnell is the name of the chapter. It starts with a proverb: a wise man is strong, ye a man of knowledge increaseth strength. And it says, Ras McConnell's chaplains and astrologers were certain a baby boy would be born and he would have an heir. They had carefully studied the pathways of both Neptune and Pluto, and they were confident that the intersection of the planets would coincide with the moment of the child's birth. The stage would be then set for a special soul to enter into the realm of the living, and Ethiopia would be delivered. The two planets had been steadily moving together since they had intersected in the year 1399. Similar to Ethiopia in 1892, the year 1399 was one of instability for the Eurasian continent. A half a century earlier, the bubonic plague, popularly called the Black Death, had ravaged Europe. Just like the evil days in Ethiopia, one third of Eurasia's population died during the years long plague. In the wake of the largest tragedy in Europe's history, the energy from the celestial alignment descended on a beleaguered continent and fueled the seeds that were quietly being sown among that continent's renaissance. The Moors were still ruling in Spain, and the plague helped loosen the grip of the Catholic Church on Europe. The aftermath of the plague weakened the status quo enough to allow Moorish culture and ideas to spread quicker. The celestial energy of 1399 was also marked by royal births. In China, the Xuande Emperor was born in 1399. The Xuande Emperor was known not only for his powerful armies with garrisons as far as Vietnam, but also for being a lover of literature and an accomplished painter. In the same year, China would see rebellion as the Prince of Yan, Zhu Di, rose against the prevailing power structure. Over West Africa, the Songhai dynasty still reigned in 1399. The rulers of Songhai and other powerful African dynasties had no idea that Prince Henry of Portugal had just started another world-changing development, a mariner's college with the purpose of embarking on African and Atlantic exploration. The college would provide the training necessary for institutionalized generations of suffering and enslavement. The celestial energy provided by the planetary alignment would be of no aid to the future of the mighty Songhai dynasty, which would fall and make way for the Oyo, the Ashanti, the Dahomey empires to rise. All of West Africa's empires were on a collision course with the horrors of colonialism. In Ethiopia, the planetary alignment welcomed the birth of another important baby boy, the great Ethiopian Emperor Zariakob, who would continue the Solomonic restoration in Ethiopia. Emperor Zariakob would be hailed as the greatest emperor since the Aksumite ruler Emperor Izana, and he would confirm the European legends about the mythical Prester John. The astute Ethiopian astrologers had been studying the planet's heliocentric movements, and after 493 years, Neptune and Pluto would once again intersect in 1892, sparking radiation that would influence the constellation of Leo. The chaplains instructed Ras Makonnen that this was a sign for the house of Judah. Ras Makonnen, a pragmatic man, was cautiously optimistic about such advisements about his son's future. Above all, Ras Makonnen was a man of faith. So that's from Haile Selassie Ethiopia. We're now going to pull up the star chart to see if Neptune and Pluto did a intersect for true or if it's propaganda. So we have the Honorable Priest Isaac just joining us. Do you want me to make it full screen?
Not necessarily. If you think you have a good view there, because
Okay.
it's some kung fu doing with this here, so I can see my point. You'll be surprised what's going on behind here, boy. But no, you don't know we're warriors, as they say, tigers and lions, and man just asking me how I be tiger, and like Rasta not supposed to be tiger. Tell her a tiger is a lion too, man. Don't worry. So yeah. So where we are. So yes. So what's this now? Come on. Go.
And don't
Listen, we
worry,
have a chorus
Ross
that we
Roots.
sing, right? Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead. And Ross Roots Live, don't worry. I'm
Good,
gonna reason with Priest Isaac. Just patience. Go ahead. If you
What
have,
is he saying?
huh? What did I say?
No, what is he asking for?
Oh no, he was asking. I have one of my Lion
No, I
Pride.
was asking what is Ras Roots asking for?
He's asking. He knows Dia is an instructor at Mount Kailash, and he's asking if the school tuition is advertised in USD or St. Lucia money. I think he wants to take the course through Mount Priest Kailash.
Oh, okay.
Does the I know
Can't
if
tell you the
yeah,
details.
I'll follow up. I'll follow up with Honorable Priest Kailash, Ras Roots Live. Don't worry yourself. I saw your message. Just give it till tomorrow, and I will reach out to the Honorable Priest and get that information for the High King. But that is one of the
All right. So I
benefits.
have it here. I think I have a little what do you call it, the delay. I don't know if it's because of the internet. So just
Yes,
excuse me.
no
Yes,
problem.
I detect that some sort of delay, a few mishaps. All right, the King of Kings and the the birth of Haile Selassie I. So the second of not the 2nd of November, no, the 23rd of July, 1892. Now, first of all, let me be clear too that like for example, before we came into this aspect of it, you said, "Let us see," what I mean, if that was the truth and the alignment of the. I like how you put it there, like it's a real, yeah. Before we get to certain things, let me show you first of all. If you notice here,
Yes,
Jupiter. Jupiter is exactly where that meteor shower was that I was telling you about a few
okay,
moments ago. The
okay,
ball. And Jupiter was sitting perfectly in between the fish constellation. Now, what I find interesting about Haile Selassie's birth chart as such is that it has a strong twin energy.
hmm,
Yes. Okay, for example, if you look in the twins constellation Gemini,
yes,
yourself as I just highlighted, um, both the moon and Venus are not only in the twins, but in the feminine aspect of the twins.
okay,
It's very important because remember, all of this is energy. The moon
yes,
is feminine and Venus is feminine, although Venus is also a war planet, but Venus is feminine. And they're both large together. That's very important in the feminine aspect of Gemini. I find that as it's very it's definitely a twinning spirit. All right.
okay,
All right, precise. What was that twinning spirit all about? Fair enough. As I said, Jupiter, very neatly located in the V of the fish or the fishes. Old English is fishes, modern day English is one fish, two fish.
yes,
And in dialect is the fish and them. So, yes, and them is plural, the car and them, the people and them. So the Jupiter is between the twin again, which is really the fish. All right. Let us, before we go thus far, I highlighted to you that what planet was it? I think not. It was it Venus. There was a specific. I think it was Jupiter. Was
hmm,
very close to Regulus. Now Regulus is a very key um, star, man. I must highlight Brother Cypher Selassie. I don't know if you follow up that brother's work. You
no,
know, when it comes to, yeah, man, he's a part of the Rastafari team.
okay.
He usually the brother with the English accent, really.
Oh, yes, 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 yes,
Yes, I mean that's a brother when he has the time, he could sit with you and really break down many aspects of what is going on celestially, especially
definitely.
as it relates to the stars like Regulus and how they connect to not just the birth of the king, but the birth of other kings within the king's list, kings and queens
Okay,
list. Highlighted King Caleb, also having a very unique connection similar to that of Haile Selassie the first. Then now, so the twinning, you have the whole twinning nature here
mm-hmm.
of Mercury with Regulus. And as I said, highlighting the importance of the constellation of the star of Regulus in the Leo constellation, by the way. All right. Now, the sun is in the constellation of Kepra. Now, this is what people call Cancer. And,
Okay.
Cancer, obviously, there's a reason why we highlight Kepra, because Kepra is representing what you would call, Kepra is representing the resurrection, pardon me. Kepra is
Okay.
representing life. Kepra is representing a new beginning. Now, Kepra, where the sun is, remember where the sun is really the age that you represent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the sun, or the time frame that you represent, the sun is in Kepra. Now, Haile Selassie represents Kepra. That's a
Okay.
deep discussion by
Explain,
itself.
explain, yeah, explain that.
Brother, that's heavy. Okay, Kepra, let me see how. Kepra represents the dung beetle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it looks like a crab to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice the sun now, when the sun comes right between the claws of the crab or Kepra, it looks like the dung beetle as it's rolling the dung ball across the desert.
Okay. So that is that why it was a symbol in Kemet? The dung
Definitely.
beetle. Okay.
And Kepra, or Cancer the crab, is one of the most northern constellations in the zodiac belt. What you call it? Gemini just beats it out by a few degrees as it
Mm-hmm.
relates to its highest star.
Mm-hmm.
So the Kepra, or the bug, is very deep. Even, oh man, it's heavy, man. I wonder if we can even try to tread there, because you see 1974, the 12th of September, when
Yes.
you see they came and they placed the king in that
Yes.
Volkswagen.
Yes.
It's very symbolic of the Kepler too. Very deep. There is a scripture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Isaiah 53,
Yes.
which is one of the most, if not the most, messianic scripture, not Masonic,
Mm-hmm.
messianic
Mm-hmm.
scripture. It's Isaiah is known as the messianic prophet. That's what they actually call Isaiah, the messianic prophet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he is the. It's in his book you get the term Emmanuel. You don't hear Emmanuel used any other place in the
Yeah.
Bible, in the Old Testament, except in Isaiah. Emmanuel is mentioned 3 times in the Bible. 3 times in Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, which is very numerologically correct, pardon me. It's mentioned
Yes.
in Isaiah 8, verse
Mm-hmm.
8. Same thing, very correct on the numerological level. The
Mm-hmm.
88 constellations in the heaven. That 8 is a very serious number. The only number, if you turn it upside down, you get the same number again, the 8. You understand? The only number you do that with is the 0. You turn it around, you get the same number. So, and the third place where the name Emmanuel is mentioned is in Matthew chapter 1, verse 23. 1, 2, 3. The third time. 1, 2, 3. So it's a very, and it's meant, yeah, it's a very deep science numerologically, even that you see right there. So the point I'm making now is that in Isaiah 53 now, which is numerology again, it speaks, who shall believe our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? I don't know it word for word, but it
Yes.
goes on. Some of the key things is that it says that he was led to like a lamb to the slaughter, um,
Yes.
dumb before his shearer, spoke not a word. And there's a part where he said he went into death and to hell, and for our transgressions he bore stripes, I think, and with his stripes we are healed. And when we accept something or the other, he shall see his seed, and it goes into it deep, but it's really talking about the suffering
Mm-hmm.
Messiah.
Yes.
This is Isaiah chapter 53.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, I did a series of programs, which I still do from time to time. Fairy tale, folly days, and nursery crimes.
Okay.
And what that concept does, well, I believe you would have at least sat in on some episode as it relates to the how Hollywood or Hollywood would
Yes.
interfere with our psyche on many
Yes.
different levels.
Yes, I.
Even when it comes to the Christ figure, even when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to God. You see Popeye the sailor man, that's Christ there. I mean, come on, that's a sailor man number one. You know Christ is a sailor man. You know Christ deals with the fisher folk. You
Yes,
know,
I.
Popeye have a pipe in his mouth. I mean, you don't know what's going on there. And
Yes,
and
I.
Popeye, you ever see when Popeye tied down, when he really tied down, like when Brutus have him on the train track and have him well tied up, and he gone with olive oil. Popeye pull the spinach. At time I see Popeye pull a clean patch of spinach out of the ground with his pipe and they suck the spinach in the pipe and boom, bust off the rope. Lick a thump in the train, turn to a little them choo-choo train you have on the track at home when you buy, Christmas toy. Yeah, look at that. By sucking the spinach through his pipe. So that's the Christ. That's why Popeye has one eye. One eye he has in a pop eye. Pop
Okay.
eye. Yes, I. You understand? And the one eye, remember that one eye concept is the concept of God, even though it has become an Illuminati maybe symbol then. You
Yeah.
understand? But even Christ says, better that you were one eye. It's that whole Popeye thing. That's why his wife, his comforter, is olive oil. We know
Okay.
Christ went to the Mount of
Yeah, not
Olives
anointed.
for and even that for his comfort, for his solace, so it's deep. And I went all there to even show you that getting back to all the planets, even the dog Lassie,
Mm-hmm.
that's a map of Haile Selassie.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember dog back with God back with spell dog. You just take the name God, turn it back where you get dog. You understand? No, no. That is why even we're talking about planets. Remember Pluto, the ninth planet was discovered when the king got crowned. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? That's why you have the name Pluto now. It's not just the name of a god, but Pluto is a dog too. And,
Oh,
and
yes.
yes, the ninth planet. And remember, the king is number nine from the womb. And
Yes.
we know everything, the nine, and it's the smallest planet too. That's why they disqualify it. You can see
Yes.
how they trying to disqualify the king in the internet world today. You man, they put up more Haile Selassie video than you know. All the fastest growing you're growing. They have more Haile Selassie. Every time I blink, I see some AI picture winking at me. I say, look at this
It's
again.
true. True.
And 10 years ago, nobody was even saying nothing about the king. You
It's
know what I
true.
mean? And so now it's definitely a business to defame the king name and make sure
Yes.
the whole world know that they find him under some toilet and how they killed
I
him. That's
saw
just
that. Yes, I saw that thumbnail. Propaganda.
that's the strong agenda now. Some get a lot of views, some don't get views, but it's like somebody's being paid. Yeah, how many Haile Selassie videos you made today?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
We know how USAID and the Foundation for Democracy and these institutions, um, it's been uncovered, even though they still exist, but it's been uncovered their practices. Um,
mhm,
on this chart now, do you
propaganda.
see
Yes,
Pluto?
not true.
Do you see Pluto on this chart? Where is Pluto and where is Jupiter? Because I was reading about Pluto and Jupiter. Is there any intersection or anything like that going on?
Right. I just showed you the yeah,
You saw
before we get to the
Jupiter.
Pluto there, before we get to
Okay.
Pluto, I'm gonna show you
Okay.
the Pluto. Before we get to the Pluto, because remember what aligned with what? You said, yeah, Neptune and Pluto aligned.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Do you see that reflected?
it's not in Leo. That up. You know of the car, the Volkswagen car they call
Yes.
Herbie.
Yes.
You sure Herbie, the movie
The
star.
old time show that could talk. The car could talk. That's what they are talking about.
But you're close. You have it. Exactly. Herbie's number was number 53.
Okay.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Now remember, I just showed you about Lassie, and
Yes.
I think I showed you the next example. I don't remember the example, but I full of them. I am
All right, family.
is alive. Herbie. And don't take the Herbie. It's marijuana they're talking about too. Because listen,
Okay.
you know Scooby Doo and Scrappy
Yes.
Doo and Shaggy
Yes.
Doo was in the
Yes.
back of the mystery machine, burning herb.
Yes.
Remember
Yes. Yes.
Shaggy, remember these are hippies, eh? I mean, they're hippies. And that's why they always want a Scooby snack. That's why they're always hungry. That's it.
Yes.
And that's why they can solve mysteries too. Herb. Herbie is the same time frame, the same set of type of people. And Herbie now, the 53 is Isaiah 53.
Okay.
Because remember they that is a Volkswagen that they put the king in, you know. The
Mm-hmm.
king the king asked them, "You want me to go into this?" That's what I'm sure you've come across that.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah, and a blue Volkswagen, and they drove him away. The Volkswagen is referred to as the bug. That's what they call it, the bug.
Yes.
The bug is Kepra,
Hmm.
the resurrection beetle. You know, because all what
Hmm.
the king going to do, you know, the 12th of September, the day after, the second day of the year, 1974 as such. I think that it would have been 66. He is now going into somewhat the underworld as the Kepra to be
Okay.
resurrected. That is why he went in a Volkswagen, a Herbie. Isaiah 53. Who shall believe our report? And whom is the arm of the Lord revealed. And this is why, I'm going to seal up this now. This is why, even in Isaiah 53, he's described as a tree. He shall grow up as a plant. That's what it says. And the branch of David, and the seed of somebody else, and the stem, all of these things. You see a tree, I tell you, Herbie, it's the tree. Because the tree of life is Christ. And we know the tree of life is marijuana. So listen, it's deep. That if you notice, before I went there, I said, wow, should I go there? Because I haven't even gone too far there. But that by itself
I
is
love
just
it.
a
This is
whole.
this is the platform for what they are talking about, King. So we love it over here, and we want to learn more. Continue.
Let me give you Pluto now. So we can easily find Pluto here. Bam. So Pluto, as you see, Taurus,
Mm-hmm.
and Pluto is very hard to see because it's very far, but Pluto is right there. You have the thing with you have the exact coordinates and everything. When we do the sky chart reading, when we do the natal chart reading for individuals, we give them the exact coordinates. So
Okay.
you understand now that this is not us guessing that
Yes.
the Pluto was in Taurus. Yes, we give you that outlook too, but we give you the exact coordinates. All right. Let me show you, right? Now, if you notice, bam, it doesn't jump too far. See?
Yes.
You don't go nowhere. Because Neptune, as your book rightly says, was aligned. with each other. Um, the astrologers that highlight its connection to Leo. Well, obviously, that would have been the time frame going into Leo. But I must say that again, the sun had a strong connection
Kepra.
with Kepra.
Hmm.
Kepra, even more than Leo. Yes, I agree. It will be coming out of Kepra and go into Leo. And the thing is, too, you must understand as well, is very deep because this astronomy, again, the even when the prophecy of this Leo and the Lion of Judah was made, yes, even the prophecy is aligned with the sun more affiliated with the constellation Leo than even now. I'm just looking at it from a scientific point of view.
Yes,
I
yes.
made an error there, you know. The moon is actually with the sun, my lord. The moon is with the sun in Kepra, which
Kepra.
is to bring me back quickly again. Yes, with the sun. The moon with the sun is a new moon time. So again, it shows there's a strong twin energy with the emperor. It's deep. I can only meditate Empress Menen, to be honest, anytime because, okay, the sun is with the moon at his
Wow.
birth. Venus is in the woman's constellation, again, at his birth. I find it interesting that the, what you may call it, Jupiter is fishes at his birth again, which is, and is right in between. It's not that Jupiter is just in the fishes, but in between. And then we just saw Neptune and Pluto teaming up with each other. And then again, Mercury teaming up with Venus. Very, very, very key. And then the Uranus thing. The thing with the Uranus is that Uranus is right at the feet of Virgo. Saturn is right at the head of Virgo, you know, and all of that is seen at the Earth strong birthday of Haile
So
Selassie
what
the
what
first.
planet? That's Mars. You say in Leo. What's going on with Leo on this day? What
That's Mercury.
Oh, that's
Mercury on
Mercury.
that, yeah, Mercury. And now that day, hear this now, you know, this is another thing now. That is the that is as it relates to the King's Earth Day. You asked for Mars. Where is Mars, though? Let's see if we find Mars here quickly. But I want to come back to that point because you must understand. You see, oh, Mars is actually like in the mouth of Capricorn. Yes, Mars is on the other side of the hill. Or heavy meteor showers that were taking place at the King's Earth Strong too. Wow, that's very powerful. You had three, the king had four here at his Earth Strong. Um, but yes, what I was saying now, as it relates to, we're talking about so many things. Yes, we were highlight Leo. I want to show you that now because it's important. So, yes, there was a presence in Leo of Mercury, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, for example, the next year, it doesn't mean that there will be a presence in Leo or the year after. You must understand again that the reason why we can get comfortable with the ages is because the sun's movement is so slow as such that even though it moves 1 degree every 72 years, after 72 years, you can't even realize the degree that it has moved unless you have some sort of super sensitive equipment that was made for that. But then for sure, in 720 years, you would realize that, hey, listen, 720 years ago, on this day, the sun would have risen just above that rock. But now it's
Hmm.
just a little bit to the left. Nothing big, just a
Yes.
little, that's in 720 years. So it's a deep thing when you observe this. So the year 1892, the seventh month, the 23rd day. Okay, let us look at 1891. The sun is in the same spot.
In Kepra. And he said
Mercury is
the
Saturn is at the feet of Leo. Yeah,
what is that body
go ahead.
heavenly
Mars.
go
Let
ahead.
me jump in there. Go ahead.
No, what is that heavenly body at the back feet of Leo?
Yeah,
What planet
that's
is
it.
that?
That's what I'm saying. That's
Right.
Saturn.
Saturn,
So
okay.
you have Saturn at the back feet of Leo,
Saturn and
and
Mercury
keep
are
in
in
mind
Leo.
that in 1890, yes, I hope I'm coming to.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Hope I'm coming through. Yeah, I hope I'm
Clear,
coming through
clear.
clearly too, because I know. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, yes, Mercury is in Leo. It was covering Regulus the year the 1892. In 1891, it's not covering what you may call it Regulus, but it's very close. Now it will always be close, because Mercury not be on the other side of this celestial sphere, like maybe a Saturn, because they are in front of they're between the Earth and the Sun, so they always appear very close to the Sun. That's Mercury and Venus, and they're going to be miles away. You understand? So Mercury will basically be in this vicinity every year. So if you look at 1890, you see Mercury is right there with the sun now. It's not in Leo, but Saturn is in Leo, Venus is in Leo. Let's look at 1889. Saturn is still in Leo. May not be still, but it's in Leo at that time. 1888. Venus is in Kepra. Remember, the king don't bound yet, but I'm just showing you the same birthday.
Yes.
3, 4, 5 years prior. The sun is at the same spot, but you see also other things around it moving, because the sun's movement is very hard to detect. That's the point that I've done. The moon is in every constellation once per month. Not once per month. But, the moon goes through the full zodiac constellations every month. Mechanics of the heavens. It's something very intriguing to study, especially when you get the grip of it and you understand. Okay, I get this thing. Especially understanding the mechanics, my brother. It's very deep, very, very, very deep. Mm-mm. I'm telling you.
It's
Yes,
very
I.
fascinating, very fascinating um, to see, look at the stars and have a great understanding. Most of us live in cities, so we don't see, the heavens. So this is something I think it's a great thing for the Lion Pride and the whole global family to really get deeper. And the great thing is that the honorable priest does consultations. So if you're fascinated by this, whether you're watching live or on the replay, you can book your consultation with the honorable priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. You look at the bottom of your screen, the contact information is there. And trust me, this is knowledge that if you're a high thinker, you want to know about yourself spiritually, and because I've also read that our atoms are made up of a material that was born in a star. Is that, did you hear anything like that?
Well, yes, yes, we are made up of stardust.
Yes.
That's, if you want to say that scientifically. Yes, definitely. We are one with the universe. For sure. We are one. Everything really comes out of the black hole, so we're definitely one with the universe. That's for sure. Positive.
Serious,
Positive.
serious. And I want to just give thanks for the I sharing that knowledge with I and I, because it was so powerfully expressed. And I know that there'll be ones that will be reaching out to the I for these consultations. I'm very fascinated because, in Rastafari, we always hear His Majesty, associate His Majesty with the 23rd being beginning of Judah. But now you're introducing information to show that the sun was in Kepra,
It was
and
in
then
Kepra.
Kepra being represented by the scarab beetle. And I don't know if it's authenticated, but I've seen a relief of this royal scepter. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a scarab beetle engraved on the scepter that His Majesty was holding at coronation. I'll have to check. Have you guys seen that image?
No, I never really. Well, I know the image, but I never homed in on what you just said, and that would be very
I'm gonna see
interesting.
if I can find. I have to authenticate, but I saw image of the scepter, and it was engraved, and the image that I saw had those Kemetic symbology on it. Because Ethiopia, Kemet, Nubia, all of these places have a lot of interchange. You see the obelisk in Aksum, for example, the pyramids in Sudan. So when we think about Nile Valley civilization, there was a lot of cross pollination. Of course, famously, the list of kings that Tafari supplied to the Black World newspaper in Chicago also had several pharaohs,
Yep.
on the Ethiopian king list. So, I think in the West, they look at these civilizations as separate, but really they were, you know, it's like family, your cousins, them down the road, and think, yes, you have differences and you don't communicate sometime, but these are the same people, or same kind of vibration. So, um, what before we seal up, talk to us about the African origins. Talk to us about um, Kemet, the use of this knowledge by our ancestors.
Well, and you do have we have time once the time is not heavy on you. Um, so when you say the knowledge, astronomically or in general,
Yeah, just the knowledge of the stars,
because you said the
because
origin. Okay,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
and the
yes.
heavenly bodies, because I
It,
could even go to the
mhm.
book of Enoch, where they talk about heavenly
Yeah, okay.
bodies and things like that. So, but just talk about how our African ancestors utilize the heavens.
Well, you see, the thing is now, this is deep because most of us, when we are, and there's nothing wrong with this, when we're in like a certain settings and this sort of conversation come up, you'd hear most of us, pardon me, will refer to, rightly so, the Dogons.
Yes.
And for those who may not know, the Dogon people are primarily from the Mali region, but they are they all in Burkina Faso, Niger, etc. And there was a French journalist that sat with one of the Dogon master 70, 80 or so years ago. And that information about the Dogon people connected to the star Sirius A and B and C really came to the forefront because of the report that the journalist would have wrote. Now, so at that time, as black people as such, in the diaspora and just busting out of slave robbery and these kind of things, we were just regaining ourselves and learning who we were. So this knowledge came to us. Say, wow. Now, what it is, as educators and as yourself, the reading Ras, this is why I encourage people, we can't get stuck.
No.
And so we can't keep saying the Dogons could see Sirius B. It's not them alone. The Dendara could see Sirius B, Sirius A, Sirius C, and all the other Siriuses out there. The Bozos were well known for this too. And they had us, you know, referring to Bozo as a clown. So they lock us off now of you Bozo, and Bozo is an African tribe that
Where are they from?
understood. That's the same reason. Region. Pardon me. They
Okay.
different banks of the Niger River. You have the Bozo people, and then now in areas like Uganda, you have the Cookie people. I don't know if you know those clowns, Bozo and Cookie.
Yes,
You
yes.
understand? Joke, these killers here know how to play with our minds. So now Bozo has become the lead clown. When you say clown, is Bozo you're
Bozo,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Bozo. So even when people say don't give me no mumbo jumbo is the next African king. And we've been taught really, maybe learned, you know, because the legal luminaries are learnt people.
Yes,
The
yes.
learned individual, the foolishness there. No offense to you, no, I know there is a
None
attorney
take,
at law.
none taken, none taken.
And I wasn't even studying that when I said that. But but give thanks still that he did to defend us. But you know what I mean? I'm just trying to show you
No, this is
how
this
so
is this is
halfway are you.
important, and I was just thinking that it's probably no coincidence that the Dogon, the Bozo, all of these, coming out of the shadow of the great Shanghai Empire, where you would have knowledge, ancient knowledge passed down from Atlantis and these places which they're now saying Atlantis was in West Africa off of Mauritania. I don't know if you've seen that recent, um, you know, uh, archaeologists and things, when they look at the description of Atlantis, they say in West Africa. So all of these, and then the Great Sahara Desert civilizations that are now buried under sand. And of course, everybody knows Kemet because of the monolithic structures. But we also had the Great Wall of Benin, which was longer than the Great Wall of China, and more, way more impressive, which was torn down by the British to hide the great achievements. They don't tell us that the Benin Empire had street lights, and wide city streets, when Europe was in darkness and decay. They don't give us that history. But it makes sense that the Dogon would preserve, that you'd have peoples preserving this ancient knowledge, breaking off from maybe some of the larger, because most of these empires are federations of smaller kingdoms, and then when war comes or famine, they split apart, and you have certain clans or families that would preserve certain knowledge, and then you also Mali is the place of Timbuktu. So it's obvious that Mali is one of those repositories of ancient wisdom, and then we have Sundiata, Mansa Musa out of Mali too. And then I think it's no coincidence that the AES today, Mali is one of the leading countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. These ancient kingdoms rising again I think it's no coincidence. And these are also some of the largest repositories of gold. They just found a new gold repository in Burkina Faso, as a matter of fact. I've seen the headlines just recently, and next one, So there's no coincidence, is what I'm saying, family. When we look at this knowledge, this ancient knowledge, and I'm giving thanks that the I was called, honorable priest, to take an interest and preserve this knowledge. What can the stars tell us about the future or prophecy? Is that something that the I?
Definitely,
Huh?
for sure.
Okay,
For
okay.
sure. The stars tell you future prophecy, what's going on now, everything, everything. I mean, the mango leaf can tell you that too. It's, it's just to be in tune and can be able to pick it up, what I mean? But for sure, the stars is well set for that. Oh, without a doubt. Oh, I'm telling you.
Okay, okay.
Uh-huh,
So what
when you were
age?
asking, mm,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
when we were talking about the origin of man, and you went what you just brought up there too. Even in Zimbabwe,
Yes.
the some of the you hear about the Great Walls and many of those different Monomatapa kingdoms and the Rusby kingdom and these different kingdoms. When there's some ancient cattle ways, tracks for the cattle or the cattle. At least that's what we're told that they are.
Yes.
But it is said now, when you examine these ways that is used today as the path for the cattle, you realize that these pathways represent some intrinsic sort of celestial systematic movements made
Okay.
by string theory and even supernova going into quasar to create galaxies. You understand, and of course, brothers like Ivan Van Sertima, these ones would have hinted this already. But just as you say, science is now highlighting these different things. So again, we had a great understanding without even going to Kemet. We had a great understanding of what was taking place in the heavens to the point that what you cannot see, see, like we had to go and look for Pluto, type in Pluto to see where it was. We could detect Pluto from here. And that is why even the side of the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, the side of the Great Pyramid is said to be the perfect curvature of the earth. Now, that's
Wow.
just one in a million facts about the pyramid. And the fact you can just do that, you're gone. You move to the front of the class, as they would say.
Serious. High knowledge that,
Yes.
this is what the mystery schools preserve, this type of knowledge, and the secret societies and all of these people hoard these knowledge, the lodges, the builders, the master builders and these things would hoard these knowledges. So this is not something that would have been widely available, and you'd have to go through much schooling and learning and initiation to get the knowledge. But the stars have always been a part of the tradition, even in the Christ story. The three magi. They're looking at the stars, and according to the stars, they travel to Northeast Africa. Um,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Um, okay, we have a peeper here. He said, just because it's African doesn't mean it's not witchcraft. But what do you say to these kind of people that everything is witchcraft if it's not uh, written specifically in
Well,
their knowledge of the Bible?
I'm not even too sure what they're referring to. If what were we talking about? What were they talking
I
about?
think I think they were,
Stars?
yeah. I think they're just talking about. mapping the stars, and a lot of Christian people not being familiar
Of
with the higher
course.
levels of knowledge would call everything witchcraft once it's not something that they explicitly know about.
Well, you know for sure that the 19th Psalms already showed us that the heavens declare the glory, and the firmament showeth his handiworks. And it goes on to say, day unto day utter its speech. It's still talking about the same, the heavens, and the
Yeah.
heavens, Psalm 19, the heavens, meaning that when you look up, you see the star, the heavenly bodies, moon, sun, declare the
Yes.
glory of God. You know, people may say, well, it's just showing you the majesty of God. It's more than that. The firmament show it his handiwork. Or he's just showing you the power of the Most High. No, no, it's more than that. Day unto day utter its speech. So it's saying something to you. It doesn't just look pretty. The sun is just hot, and that planet red, and the moon bright. Day unto day uttereth speech. Night unto night showeth knowledge. And then it goes on to say that there's no speech nor language where this voice is not heard. So it's not English or not even Kiswahili. It's an experience that
Hmm.
everybody can see, even if you don't need Wi-Fi and nothing to observe what the heavens is saying. The heavens is so alive, even down to the clouds. But yeah, the clouds, anything in the heavens. That's why I'm sure the eye clearly see Haile Selassie in the moon.
Yes.
If they think what we were saying was witchcraft, they would think that's super witchcraft. You can clearly see a picture of Haile Selassie in the moon, and that's just like Jah expressing himself on a kindergarten level, much less to all this deep mathematics. Now we have to pick up compass and square to explain in depths. You understand? I don't know.
Yeah, but a
Yes,
lot
I
of people fear knowledge. They fear what they don't understand. This is why, things like the Book of Enoch got removed from the Bible, because if this brethren ever read the Book of Enoch, him head explode.
I
When it's
hear
talking
you.
about the planets and the seven heavens and the this and the that, you're gonna be confused. And why the Book of Enoch is so important to I is because it's only been preserved by the Ethiopians.
Ethiopia.
You know what I mean? Of all of the
At the back.
the places that were under the Vatican influence, Ethiopia was able to preserve certain traditions. And remember that these were handwritten down, on animal skins, parchment, and these kind of things passed from generation to generation. And what people don't realize about the Ethiopian church, a lot of what we see externally is what they share, but in the monasteries, they preserve a lot of ancient works there in their original is form. And after the invasion of Grand the Left-Handed, which almost conquered Ethiopia, most of the knowledge, ancient knowledge, was burned during that jihad. The church and the monasteries became very secretive, and that's why you see a lot of them in some hard to reach places to preserve. And these are places that tourists cannot go. You know what I mean? And even if you go there, they're not bringing out all of the manuscripts for you to see. They bring out one and two that is for. But they have certain books there that they say are written by the angels. Ethiopia is a different place. And this is why, I've been to Ethiopia. I encourage a lot of people to go and feel the energy. I know they are doing, they are doing a trip to Ethiopia?
Yes, my good brother. Well, we have an official mission. That's the official name, the mission to Ethiopia. And
Yes.
I'll just take a moment to even give one's a little understanding of it. What we will be doing, it is what I consider. I'm going to just share the screen too, if I could,
Yes,
one more
yes, yes.
time. Um, You don't know. This is interesting, boy. Yeah. So what it is, we are setting a delegation to be present at the second African Union CARICOM summit for the 7th of September. This mission thus far is sponsored by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. We would have, for several months since the previous year, agitated and advocated to several governments, including that which we are citizens of, to play a serious role with this agenda. For at the time, it didn't appear as if it was something that was on the front burner at all, because we are certified diplomats, myself, within the field of international diplomacy, and also as Rastafari, we would have prepared, as you could see, the mission to Ethiopia, AU CARICOM Summit / magazine launch fundraiser campaign. Will be magazine launch, African Union CARICOM Summit, fact finding research mission, tourism exchange initiative, and education collaboration. Now, any individual within your audience and those watching on the different networks, they could email us and we would send them right away a copy of the PDF of this proposal, the mission to Ethiopia, so they can go through it and understand the the levels of thinking that is behind the mission. It is something to understand. It is something that I, would love ones to comprehend where we're coming from. You know us, my brother. You know where we come from. We don't care what nobody think about us. But as it relates to this project, it's actually something I've never felt like this before. As if I really want, those who hear about it to see the
Yes.
heart piece, where it's coming from. Now, first of all, it is a business mission. First of all, as I said, it's sponsored by the institute. So what we will be doing, as you know, we publish two magazines at the institute. That is the Ambassador's Pen, which is a
Yes.
monthly journal, um, and we have the magazine Keep Them Me, which comes out twice per year. Now we just released the ambassador. I think I have it all here. Yes, this is the ambassador's pen um, for this month, 1st of July, where we are highlighting the return of the Benin bronze statue. The magazines are digital magazines as well, and
Very well
we
done. Very well done. Very well done, I have to say.
yes, true. I appreciate it. I appreciate love that, my brother. And just letting the audience understand that we have advertisement packages as well as it relates to the the both magazines. So what we will be doing in Ethiopia, obviously, we'll be making business contacts with different individuals and resorts, and we already started to make contact with, for example, Ethiopian Airlines and different institutions of learning. So we have a lot on the table, a lot on the slate that we actually want to cover. And what we'll be doing, as Guy would always, share with the family, we will be networking and trying our
Yes.
best to make a connection with those in the motherland, and of course those of us in the diaspora. As King Emmanuel teach us, it's better to have one foot in the West and one foot in Africa than have the 2 foot in the West. You
Hmm.
understand? And that's very, very important. So I would have even approached again the government of the CARICOM nations, and as well as, of course, even Rastafari on a whole, I must say. But as I said, at this moment, it is still a project. that is funded basically by us. We have packages where we are inviting individuals to be with us in Ethiopia. There are many people that have shown interest. There are those who have already signed up, and we will be partaking in a 3 day, 3 days and nights tour of Addis Ababa. That will be around the AU CARICOM conference, and then there is a 7 days and 7 nights tour throughout the northern region of Ethiopia. I'm sure you know, brother, there's a lot of great works taking place in Ethiopia, especially on the infrastructure level, specifically in Addis Ababa. The
Yes.
renovation of the emperor's palace is something that I'm very gleeful about, and even renovation of Gondar, and even the building of the Addis Ababa, not Addis Ababa, but the Battle of Adwa memorial. So basically, there are many ways that individuals can be a part of this. We really are bent on doing great business in Ethiopia. We believe in business a lot. Business is very, very important to our hearts. Thriving and economics, and we ain't playing with that at all, at all, at all. That's really what it is, and we try our best to instill that in the minds of the youth and even the government that's supposed to be a part of. As you can see, I'm an involved person. I'm not
Yes.
a Shanway person. Yeah, I am involved. But Mr. Prime Minister, I need to speak to you. That's me there. So at the end of the day, no one can say, well, listen, this brother, we don't even know who he is. You understand? I'm very serious here. Trust me. Our foot lives in the door. You hear that put your foot in the door. Our foot live in the door.
We love it.
I'm
We
telling
love
you.
it. We love it. We love it. And
And that's
again,
what I can
DI
express.
is a visionary because DI is one of the first pioneers on the YouTube space. When did DI start your YouTube channel?
You catch me there. It's so right now we're looking at maybe about 13, 14 years actually. But
You
the
see?
thing is, in reality, there was this great gap after it began. There was this great gap, different runnings in the earth.
Yes, yes,
And then
yes.
maybe about maybe 7 years ago, really, is when I catch it back again. But there was a
Catch it back.
gap. Yeah, you could say that. And so many things were taking place. So again, my brother, just highlighting that ones can feel free to email us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Very, very important. You could WhatsApp us and what's that other thing called? The Telegram us. Our number is here. You have to put in the area code 1268-728-8289, and you can get more information directly from us on how to advertise with us, what it is that our marketing demographics, the whole works. We'll fill you up, and you could see the magazine that we can have a meeting and all of these different things. We have also made it available that an individual could contribute. So if you do not want to visit Ethiopia with us, if you do not want to advertise in the magazine, let's just say just don't have no business to advertise in the magazine, let us just say you do not want to take one of our packages, because we have sponsorship packages too, my brother. We have the full sponsorship, which is really the budget,
Okay.
$118,000. So we have full sponsorship, platinum sponsorship, diamond sponsorship, gold sponsorship, silver
Okay.
sponsorship, as low as $10,000. Now the
When
thing
is the
is
trip? When is
that
the actual trip? What month is the trip?
it's in September, early September. So
Okay.
the literal, for us, those who are coming with us, keep this in mind, because that's why we call it a mission. We don't want to say trip and fall, and so those who
Mission.
will be those who are coming with us is actually, they're not even coming with us, they will meet us there.
Okay.
So it's something like that. It's not like, no offense to nobody, it's not like an Astro crazy move, and we meeting at, Ronald Reagan's airport, and we flying together like that. No.
Yes.
We will be there as a team, my delegation will be there for a protracted period of time. In
Yes.
fact, we're kind of in between whether it's a month or 2 months because we really want to do some serious fact finding mission, and it's a business mission too. But there's a small window again from about the 4th of September, because remember the African Union conference is the 7th of September, the 7th and the 8th, and then after the African Union conference, do the national tour, which would be another 7 day. And of course, people have to get back to what they have to do, those who will be with us for that much. But we have already dedicated that we're going to be there for a little more, you understand, to get
Okay.
certain work through. So again, to understand really what we're doing, a person may have to even get a copy of this proposal if you're interested. Go through the overview, the mission. We have a mission here and the overview of the mission. The Precise X Institute of Holistic Knowledge will be visiting Ethiopia officially as early as August 2025 to October 2025. We will be launching both the Ambassador's Pen and Kidemi, two digital publications of our online magazine collection. The previous issues of the Ambassador's Pen highlight the culture, history, and geopolitics public affairs happening in the Horn of Africa. The magazine Kidemi, also called the cultural icon, takes a conscious look at reality. The December 21st edition cover story highlights the heritage site Green Castle Hill. On our visit to Ethiopia, we will be visiting several business professionals, owners of hotels, resorts, as well as government officials. We will be pitching our business proposals to create long standing professional contacts and international relationships between Africa and the diaspora. You understand? So again, I'm not going to read it all. I also have,
Yeah.
the things we intend to present from our documentaries to our magazines. This is our mission. This is our team, the head of missions, the administrative director, and the chief assistants of missions. So you understand, my brother. And the
Yes, I.
thing is, the family may not, well, who's sending me there? Nobody's sending me. And that's the truth, is I'm sending myself. But that's why I'm here. That's why we have to do this. And we can't just be talking forever. We have to put things in action. And I know you know that for sure. So
Yeah, man.
again, I'm just going to seal by saying, reach out to anyone who need more information. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. In fact, the brother has all the information running across the screen there.
Yes,
Blessings.
yes. So I want the eye to know that this is the eye platform as well. We built it for this exact purpose. Um, the eye have an established ecosystem. I'm building an ecosystem, and the idea is that when these two ecosystems come together, that some of the lion pride would now be a part of the tiger's nest, and some of the tiger's nest would now come and be a part of the lion voice. And this is how I want all of us to think as brethren and sistren, is that everyone should have their own ecosystem, so that when we network, when we connect, what I mean, there's always that trade, that interaction, there's that electricity, in terms of connection, that is between us, so that we can spark, because we need an economic base in order to build the alternative to Babylon, and I've been doing a series on Rastafari and STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I've been talking to engineers, and one of the things that I want our family to understand is that building a nation is capital intensive. When you're talking about nation building, you're talking about millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. So yes, we have to start somewhere. I start with the $5 and the $10, but no family, that the way that we reach to the millions of dollars is not by an individual being a hero. It's by the collective coming together with those $5 and the $10, and we harness the power of the collective, and we spend that money with each other. So I want the Lion Pride who can, to visit the Brethren's website, check out the offerings, and make sure that you spend some money. And you hear I say it all the time. I call the I name enough time on this channel too, you know.
Yeah,
I
true,
call
my
the
lord.
I name, man like I Just Star, Just Jam Magazine, Rastafari TV is a portion to ones that are out there. And I always tell people, if you don't like go over Priest Isaac, go find somebody, you know. If you say you're a Rastafari, this is not the time for the weekend Rasta or the hobbyists. We need serious people who are willing to invest their dollars to make changes, because anything you don't change, you choose. That is one quote I heard and it stuck with me. Anything you don't change, you're choosing. So if we want to change the state of poverty that inflicts many of our communities, and an elder pass away and we can't, we're scrounging around to find resources to give that elder a dignified homegoing instead of having a fund where we can just, if we want to change these things, we have to change our mindset, of how we associate with money, and a lot of false concepts. A lot of people will come on here and try to bun us out for trying to talk about economics and thing, and I just sidestep them people there, because it's, what I mean, these
We
people
tell
don't,
people that.
these are false concepts that you're trying to impose on I and I. You think Rastafari must just be up in the bush barefoot, and you know that cannot scale. That cannot feed the children and provide a legacy for the next generation. So I don't have time for that, and I'm not going to argue with a man about that, especially when His Majesty have so much words on economic development. You know what I mean? So I want to just give the eye a chance to say some final sound. I will be featuring
Mm,
on the Tiger's Nest, so stay tuned for that. You see, Honorable Priest here, I'll be going over
my
on the
lord.
Tiger's Nest as well. This is Unity in action, family. So I want the item to see two powerful brethren coming together. And this is just the beginning, because I see a bright future for I and I in the media
Yes.
space. I see, scale, because as the Armageddon, and before you go, I have to ask you about what's happening in Earth, because I'm a man that deal with the prophecy, um, and I'm watching what's happening, and I know that the baby boomers are pushing for the Armageddon war right now. They want to see it before they leave this earth. The Netanyahu's, the Christian Zionists, all of these people, they're pushing for this Armageddon battle. Um, and I know that I had a whole episode. We went through Ezekiel 38 and 39 that identifies the nations as they prepare for this great battle of Armageddon, and we find out every nation named in Ezekiel 38 has been invaded by America or Israel in the last 20 years. Libya, Syria, Persia, um, Kush was identified there too. Turkey was there. I think there were some others, but all of these places are, now facing instability, and we are saying here that this is preparation for the Armageddon struggle. And what I've been sounding the trumpet, I want to hear your opinion, is that as Rastafari, we must use this time to prepare as they are plunging the earth into darkness. We have to have our decentralized communities that are self-sufficient, that we can weather if the global supply chain collapses, which is to me inevitable that the global supply chain is going to collapse, when they really kick off this war, and we see the starts and the stops, because real life and their plan also have to match. So they didn't expect Iran to thump them in their mouth when they set off that thing. So they had to pause and get themselves ready again. But what this does for us is that it's a tender mercy. Give us more time, because we were not prepared honestly, for the collapse of the global supply system that would have happened if the Straits of Hormuz shut down and certain vibration and the oil stopped flow and the dollar, the US dollar collapse and all of the Caribbean country dollars, which are pegged to the dollar, collapse. We're not ready for that reality right now, but it's coming. How does the eye see the time that we're living in? And just give us your final sounds, honorable priest.
True, my lord. Well, let me wrap everything into one. Well, I mean, as you can see, everything is okay. Donald Trump is stopping all the wars in the world. Isn't that what CNN is saying? Um, I think that's what I hear. He stopped. He stopped a 20-year, 30-year war going on between Rwanda and Congo. I see some fellas meet him in the White House and they sign some papers. So I guess that war is done.
Done.
Uh, yeah, man. That just stop in 30 years, eh? Just say, well, here Trump signed the paper. Oh gosh, drop the gun. Sorry. Yeah. Um, he stopped another war. Yeah, he stopped, as they say, he stopped the war in Iran. Although the Iranian people didn't sound like he stopped any war. They said they win the war. And
Yeah.
his brethren Netanyahu saying the same thing. And you think he stopped some war that was going to happen in Greece. I think he almost stopped the war in Ukraine. So he's the war stopper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see, my lord, yeah, honestly, I haven't heard anyone bring this up. I thought, I don't know. I thought, and I don't mean amongst, and I mean in general, like something to talk about. There was this military parade. I would believe you would have seen some of it a few
Yes,
weeks
I.
ago, celebrating celebrating the birthday of the army.
Yes.
Uh, if I'm not mistaken, it's 249 or 250th, and celebrating the 79th birthday of Donald Trump.
Yes.
That was the 40th. What day that is? The 14th of June, right? Right. All right. Very same day, a few time zones ahead, the King of England was doing the exact same thing.
Hmm.
He was having the trooping of the colors, a bit
Okay.
more tamer, um, what you call it, older, ancient way of doing it, where you had horses and carriages and he
Okay.
was trooping colors. And them is some disciplined horses. The
Yes.
horses in the Washington thing, they were running into one another. And I'm telling you, and I'm telling you, but when you
They
watch
were
the
they were
footage,
they were cussing the soldiers how they were marching, so they were marching sloppy and one
well, the
bag.
horses,
Yeah.
I heard that. But in Britain, when them
Yes.
horses, but that's their game. That is
Yes.
their game. That
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
a tag game. That was clock, clock, clock. So, but the point I'm making now is that King Charles, as they call him, he was celebrating his birthday. Donald Trump was celebrating his birthday. I said, "Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know that was King Charles' birthday." I went to go and research this thing. King Charles' birthday is the 14th of November. But
Okay.
really, what it is, he moved it up. Nobody said that he moved it up to align with Donald Trump. In fact, as I said, I didn't hear this comment at all. Up to this day, I haven't heard anyone comment that these two people had a birthday military parade on the same day. It was a
I
Sabbath day.
I didn't
The
know about
king
the
of
English part.
the king of England. Oh yeah, go on. We said the trooping
Yeah.
of the colors. It was for King Charles' birthday, but it wasn't his birthday. What kind
Hmm.
of game is this? His
Hmm.
birthday is the 14th of November, but it was Donald Trump's birthday, the 14th of June. And he was having his own military parade, while the King of England, the same day, was having his military parade for his birthday. But it
Hmm.
wasn't his birthday. So now he's the king of Great Britain, and that day was called No King's Day. in America amongst the those that
Protest.
are the stuff. Right,
Yes,
protesters.
yes.
The day before, Benjamin Netanyahu and the fellas dropped the bombs in Iran.
Yes.
I just said, I mean, I don't know, but Iran, maybe they didn't expect that sort of reaction from Iran, as you said. I agree with that.
Yes.
Now, what I'm saying, the king, check this out. Just after the parades, the king went into the Knights of the Garter ceremony. Just after he went into the Knights of the Garter ceremony, which to me kind of solidified the Freemasonic message that was sent on his birthday, which is not his birthday. Now we can say, "Oh, King of England is just a ceremonial scene." All of them are ceremonial. Donald Trump is ceremonial too. Listen,
Yeah.
all of them is puppets, but them is some wicked puppets. And the
Yes.
thing is, yeah, man, Pinocchio in flesh. Somebody else there that we don't even know their name. But who we see, that's good enough. Them is some wicked souls. And I'm just
Yeah.
trying to show you that the fact that the two kings on the same day had a military parade and they solidified to the point that one of them, it's not even his birthday, but he's celebrating his birthday just like that. So what they would have done, they would have twinned themselves. They made themselves twin on that day, believe it or not. The King of England and the King of America. Military parade. Nobody on earth could tell me that we were not stepping into a different time, a
Yeah, man,
different
they're
zone.
preparing for
Just
war. I've been telling the ones them it's a global war. Cause World War III has started. The colonial powers see their power slipping, and they are not going to go down holding hands and hugging and wishing well. They are going to take this place, and this is why I tell the family the global supply chain, and we already see it with the Yemenis army shutting down the Red Sea trade. This is going to be all over the world. People don't realize how much ships on the high seas bring in goods and services. You know what I mean? And what the other symbol that war is on the horizon is the price of gold. Watch the price of gold. Every central bank in the world is buying gold. They're dumping their dollars, their paper currencies, and whether it's Russia, whether it's BlackRock, which is the big shadow government in America, start buying what? Gold. Gold is trading at almost $3,500 an ounce. So when you see governments, that means that they're hedging against instability globally, and they know that gold is a store. So the dollar is no longer the global reserve currency. The global reserve currency now is gold. These are all signs of what is to come. And what I want Rastafari people, because we were the people that told the world about the fall of Babylon, the prophecy, we
exactly.
sung about it. But what I don't want to happen is that we sung about it, but we ourselves not prepared to deal with the judgment. Because as a young Ras, and I would have heard this too, we always heard the judgment is non-partial, you know? So it don't matter how good you think you are, if you have not done the work to save yourself from the catastrophe you're gonna find yourself there. And we also heard about careless Ethiopians. These are things that were drilled into us as young Rastafari. This is why repatriation was stress, and a lot of us have gotten away from that repatriation. We get comfortable, but we have to remember that the Caribbean, even though it's the sixth region, is under the American sphere of influence. So when the dollar crashes, there's going to be some pain felt in the Western Hemisphere when the fiat. And remember that America just passed a bill adding $5 trillion to their deficit. And what we have to understand is the amount of debt is like a fantasy money we're dealing. When you talk about $1 trillion, people don't understand how big a trillion is. Much less when you start dealing with 100 trillion and the kind of debt where America's in. So the fall of Babylon is not if. And remember that the fall, in their eyes, presets the global reset, where we're going now to the digital currency era, the blockchain, the everything traceable. You cannot buy or sell without certain identification. And whether it's the West or whether it's BRICS, I think that the BRICS and the G7 fight is over who's going to control the New World Order. I don't feel like BRICS have our best interests either, because China, Russia, they're all moving to digital currencies as well. And with this comes absolute power. And when you dissent against your government and they trace it, they just shut off your money and you can't do nothing. So, as Rastafari, this is why we have to move to decentralized communities off the grid, if possible. Small communities that are interconnected so that we are able, and then with our own supply chain, with our own truckers, our own boats, our own, you know what I mean? This is how we have to be thinking right now as Rastafari, as visionaries, as Ras, mean head, meaning that we're not supposed to follow. So I say this to my family, and I'm going to let the Honorable Priest seal up. But I say this to my family because I want us to be in a preparation mindset, not just watching the TV and you say, boy, them things they're going, and you just become a spectator or recognize that you're supposed to be moving, you're supposed to be preparing, have your repatriation plan. I love how the priest is going to Africa. Visit Africa. If you've never been, you need to take a reconnaissance trip and set your feet and look around. Don't feel like you're going to fly over there blind and run out. You're setting yourself up for hardship. You know what I mean? Because Africa is still earth. You have to be wise as a serpent, safe as a dove, but you have to be wise. So I want all of us to be in this mindset. I'm glad you said what you said. The I said what the I said, because it's not just I won, and I think that as Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media, we have a responsibility to sound the trumpet for our community, because our community, again, we prepared the earth for this time. We sung about this time. Our elders have not been wrong again about one striking thing that they established with this liberty. Not one. Everything that they have said has come to pass, and it come to pass how they said it would come to pass. The elders say one day Babylon would lock down. We live and see them thing there where you can't fly out, airplane shut down, this, that. You have to stay in your place. You know what I mean? We live and see that. We live and see the herb become a medicine, the healing of the nation. We live and see ITAL become, standard. We live and see locks become a general thing. All of the things them that they were scorned, we literally come and see every single thing that they said. The grounding, barefoot, the this, you name it, every single thing, certain fabrics, when they were burning out certain things. All of these things have come to, we see about the microplastics. The elders were promoting the herb before they knew about the endocannabinoid system. They didn't know nothing about no endocannabinoid system. But they were right on the money. You know what I mean? So this is a mystical chad, and we now have to take it to the other side, which is not just to preach about the judgment, but to build the alternative. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Honorable Priest to give us our final sounds. Lion Pride, this was an instant classic episode. All of those who are watching live, big up yourself. Put in the chat where you're watching from. All who watch this on the replay, give thanks. You're seeing history in the making. Rastafari, brethren and brethren coming together on the media platforms. You know what I mean? Building together, and it's a glorious thing. But we're still early and we still have work to do. So I'm going to turn it over to the Honorable Priest to give his final sound. We've had him for a long time here, but it was so sweet. Time fly. And again, on behalf of the entire Lion Pride, we want to thank the Eye for being a pioneer, for blazing the trail for ones like I, because there'll be ones that come after I that grow faster than I, that do it better than I. So we are still early. But let me also just say this: content creation is not going anywhere either. So for those who want to jump into the space and have something to contribute, find your lane, find your niche, but be serious about the work and be consistent. So, Honorable Priest, give us your final sound.
I give thanks, my Lord, again for the moment. Give thanks for the opportunity. Give thanks to all individuals who have been listening to us. We have brothers and sisters in the Instagram world, YouTube, Facebook. So we're very thankful. And again, my royal family and my good brother, we just encourage everyone they can contact me. Especially the best way is the email, professionally, officially, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. I think it's necessary for most of us to get a better understanding of the mission to Ethiopia. You could visit my YouTube channel for those of you who are not familiar with it. Basically, the brother has all the information there. Priest Isaac YouTube channel. And then at the same time, you could visit us on Twitter, which they call X, and we're on LinkedIn as well, and the whole works, Priest Isaac, and all of these networks. So again, the mission itself, very important. Ones can contribute to, for those who want to literally contribute to the mission. Again, you can Zelle, Cash App, all Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. But I must say, in closing, too, my spirit is that, we are very much service oriented, and that is why you see we have packages, and because we have something to give back. Believe me, we have books. The magazines are free, by the way, so you don't have to pay for the magazines. We have courses, we do tours, and so many different things because we believe, as the brother was saying, it's time to thrive. So we're very, service oriented. So give thanks, Honorable the Deshmash. Give thanks for keeping the door, and give thanks for the whole Lion Pride, the whole Lion Voice family, and the whole Lion Talk. It has been a great honor, and give thanks, praise for Haile, dear to his voice, Haile Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari.
Yeah, man, this one, as I say, is an instant classic. Give thanks for the eye, patience with I too. I know I can be long-winded, but we I feel like with the urgency of the moment, and having the eye here with I think is the perfect time to just underscore this is an action time. So I want those who are watching the video, support the brethren. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let us support. All of the guests, but particularly this brethren. As I say, we have to support our media platforms, because when you have a product or a service, you want to go somewhere where there's an audience, and the brethren has cultivated a loyal audience over the years, and you know that they would be like-minded to a Rastafari Pan-African product or service. And this is what, the benefit of having media platforms like, what I and the brethren have, is that the audience is there for your product or service. So those packages, can really help you to target your audience for your business. If you have a small business, and remember that there's no such thing as a local brand anymore. If you have a brand, you should be trying to build a global brand, and you should find ways that people can use the internet to access your product. And even if not, you're building your brand globally so that, if people visit your area, they will come and find you and be able to access your product or service. So the two magazines, you saw them. professionally done. Advertisers of all kinds in there showing the proof of concept, support. The trip to Ethiopia, the mission, sorry, no trip. The mission to Ethiopia is also there. We want the item to also support. If you cannot make the trad, give a attribution, you know what I mean? Let us support the honorable priest, fulfill his vision. I want to big up the eye and the whole team that the eye have, the queen, the empress, all of the ones that work with the eye. Can't wait to get a chance to visit Antigua so I can, meet the eye in the physical realm. I and I Queen would love to make that chat. So in future time, we know we're going to have to do that. But yeah, man, this one was great. Lion Pride, we are here with the honorable priest Isaac. Let I and I know if the item love this one. I love it. I love the unity. I love where we're going as a people. I love the energy that I see with I and I coming together, not to bicker, not to fight, but to create something greater. You know what I mean? Something that's never been, that our education has ill prepared us for. We are building the economic base that will build the schools, that will build the health centers, that will build the Trueberries, that will build the roads and the sanitation systems to link our decentralized communities. We are the generation of them that seek the face of the Most High. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the lion's voice.
Be
Right.
a king, and the time must come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
Yeah, now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial I represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Of the engine a run like mechanic room.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
The time has come for lions to tell our own story. Yes, you're listening to Lion's Voice. I is Rastafari hailing from the island of Senghor. Yeah, I'm bringing to you Rastafari vibes. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Babylon born when Rasta come together. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Because Babylon done when I and I come together. Look how we live together, Look how we work together, Oh, Babylon done when Rasta come together. Hail I, Rastafari, His Majesty and Empress men in bless. Yeah man, hail him from Senghor, Rastafari, hail you.
Aye.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega, representing all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Yo, this is Zeladina representing for Rasquasi and the whole Lion Voice family. Now listen this is the realest thing. Him closer to me than a brother. Him a me G, me a tell him I'm a lion. Me a go tell you how me feel, me a go keep it real. Me nah go wait till him lay down on the mark. Lion Voice never talk bad about me yet. Him realness me can't forget. Cause when I game time, him never bench me. Him never rise up against me yet. No, the friendship connect. It's funny how we can talk in front of a million people and never yet drop no catch. So a loyalty till death. Lion Voice, and Zeladina representing. Up, up, up.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it, I Jalifa said that.
Greetings, this is Rastafari. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Rastafari said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.